Hey everyone, this is Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Gold. This is turn 6, I believe. And let's jump into things. This is actually a pretty calm turn for us. But we'll go through everything and talk about a couple of the developments on the world stage and go from there. So, nothing with Dark Knowledge, High Respects, Voice of Apsu, Arcane Probing, or Augury, but we did get one with our second aspects. Sparkling Fields. This is one air gem per turn. This little province, the Obsidian Waste, is actually turning out to be a nice little gem gen. I think it's up to 4. Let's check. 1, 2 water, 5. 1 fire, 1 astral, and 1 air. So nice little site so far. We still have to get earth and death searched here. Okay. Didn't find any suitable slaves in Saffron City. This is just kind of like a one-off, because we weren't doing anything else with them, so might as well. Atlantis attacks Oral Priest and wins. No, is defeated. Ekritique, so we actually got to witness this. Ekritique attacks Pewter City over in... over here, right? So let's watch this real quick. So Ekritique has a bunch of non-Pokemon units. They've got a bunch of ghosts, they've got some shade beasts, they got a behemoth, all led by a Mound King over here. These guys are the real interest, because basically they're just ethereal, right? Ethereal with a life drain attack, decent hit points, and if you don't have if you have magic attacks, you can just cut through them very easily. If you don't have magic attacks, they're kind of difficult to deal with, all but impossible to deal with, because ethereal will keep you from killing them, the life drain will keep them topped off, and eventually they will fear you out. So if we look over here, no magic attacks, no magic attacks, 1 magic attack. So this is kind of like the situation, right? If this little raiding party from Ekritique attacked into province defense that was magical, like Girafarig or something like that, they'd probably get blasted pretty easily. But in this type of scenario, they just heal back up, right? Any damage they take, they just life drain. There's not really much that can be done. Now this this swimmer is a priest, but it's only a priest 1, and these guys are actually hardy enough to survive the banishments. Well, I say hardy enough to survive the banishments. The priest isn't strong enough to banish fast enough to get enough out. If she was maybe like a priest 2, possibly, if that's all she was doing, but pretty easy. So that didn't really show us a whole lot, just gave us another reason to not want to fight the AI Ekritique, which is becoming more and more of a problem, actually. So next up, we attacked in Grey Mountains against Pewter's raid, took that back, and then we have a battle in Storn Woods against really nothing. But we did lose 7 black belts, and this is entirely my own fault here. I did not have them scripted correctly, so... these guys were not actually on hold and attack like all of the rest of the Machamp generators are supposed to be. So they ran out in front, and this actually just does go to show how weak these guys are. These are over 100 experience units. They are tier 3 evolutions. Very high defense, right? Decent attack skill, but their protection is abysmal. Pretty much non-existent, right? So, and their health isn't very good. So they run up against these Mareeps. Fucking Mareeps, mind you. Right? And they immediately just start taking boatloads of damage. And we actually lose a couple of them. See? That's entirely my own fault. That didn't have to happen, but it is a good example of how, like, a lot of these units, you take the black belts, right? They have slightly better stats in some regards, worse in others. Their defense is less because they don't have the shield, right? But again, they don't have crazy stats. These guys die very quickly. And that's one of the reasons why I'm heading towards Army of Lead and Army of Gold. Because if I can get their protection up, then that does do a lot to kind of alter things there. Okay, so, but we won in Storn Woods. There wasn't really anything there. There is an enemy fortress there to be besieged and conquered, but we crack it in one turn. Next up, we attacked in Erd. There, again, he's just raiding, so he just went stealthy, moved out, etc. Fortunately, we have enough forces arrayed around our empire that I'm not super worried about that yet, you know? So we'll see how that goes. And then in Lost Canyon Range, we did a little battle. This one ended up being a little weird. We did lose some units as well. And again, using so many different Pokemon, I'm kind of getting into that mode to where I'm having to think about what do each of the Pokemon do again. And I forget things here or there, and that causes me to lose some Pokemon here or there. But we'll get it all tamped down. Anyways, so let's watch this. And what actually happens is keep in mind, these are not arrayed in a manner. These Amphiroses were not set up like this. They're in the fuck. I don't know why it's going that direction. It's like reversed controls. They're supposed to be in a box down here, right? The issue is I have so many freaking bodies, and they're of such a size that the game has just kind of squished them all together. And the Amphiroses are actually cutting off this back line. Like, this back line can't move forward. But everything goes as it should go, for the most part, except that these Charizards are right here in the mix of things, and they have a heat aura. And that's what actually kills two of the Amphiroses and one of the Jolteons, is they get caught by the heat aura. My guys have a fire resistance 5, so they don't really have to worry about anything. That's just kind of an example of what's going on. So we, I think we have made some adjustments there to try to avoid that happening again. Well, we've made a combination of adjustments. One, the Charizards are moving out to go raid, so they won't be there with the heat aura, but we've also moved the Amphiroses down to try to make sure that they're actually sectioned away in the location that we want them to be. So, we got a province income event in Kunal. This is awesome. Plus 10. I love seeing these things. As long as they're over, like, 2. Like, sometimes you get the province income plus 2, and it's like, joy. I have plus 2 in 100 turns that will have earned me 200 gold. Yay. It's so shitty, right? But 10 is pretty nice, right? 10 is 10 turns, you get 100 extra gold. Very, very nice, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alteration rituals are cheaper this month. We saw this event coming a little while ago. Unfortunately, we don't really have any alteration rituals that we care about at the moment. Storn Woods has been breached. 3 afflictions cured. Cured. Lack of supplies in Lost Canyon Range. Got some promotions, etc. So there was something there that was a big deal. And that was, last turn, there was a fort here. This turn, there's not a fort here. Yay! Olivine continues his fucking assault on my fucking rage machine because he keeps destroying his fucking infrastructure, and it's infuriating. And to the point to where, by the way, over here in Olivine City, there's not a fucking Olivine City anymore. I mean, there is an Olivine City, but there's not a fortress anymore. He even destroyed his own fucking fort. Probably because Atlantis was Atlantis was attacking his capital that turn. You may notice that Atlantis did not take his capital this turn. So there was a very big battle. We didn't get to watch it. We saw this down here, which was significantly smaller, unfortunately. So we didn't get to watch. I should have. I knew this battle was going to happen. I just forgot to move a scout onto Olivine City in order to watch it. But the battle basically went along the lines of Atlantis did what we knew Atlantis would do, right? Buff the shit out of his stabbers, right? All his coral spears and his magic weapons and everything like that. Weapons of sharpness, strength of giants, etc., etc. And then his mages did their thing. Oh, well, Olivine had like 50 bajillion fortresses, and those fortresses went boom. And all of those units just like died. And I'm probably like misinterpreting what has been told to me, but that is a hilarious fucking image in my mind. And it might happen to us, honestly, because we have a very similar situation happening. So I just thought it was funny, right? Is all Atlantis came in and probably should have won the fight, but then basically got hit with this chain reaction of fortress explosions, and everything just went south. Okay, so we don't have a lot of movements going on this turn, but they are focused movements. There's a couple of different things that have changed in the world stage. We will talk about them towards the end of the episode, I think. For now, we're just going to go through the different fronts and discuss exactly what we're doing. So in Lost Canyon Range, there's no fortress to conquer, so we're immediately moving onwards. We are pulling out Dolgad, and he is attacking into the World Pillar. Actually, I think we're going to change that. I think we're going to attack... Nope. Because there's multiple schoolgirls there, and that's well organized. There was a reason why we weren't attacking there. So we're not going to do that. We are going to move here, though. We're moving into the Banded Hills, okay? And we've adjusted the army ever so slightly, right? To try to pull the Ampharoses down. Go from there, etc. All of the rest of the things that we are doing remains the same. We're doing a whole bunch of weapons of sharpness spam. We're doing some strength of giants, etc., etc. Okay, and we have Latias in here doing. We need to have Latias do more specific shit. So he's doing quickening. That's really the legitimate reason why he is there is quickening. But we will also have him do. What does he have? We will have him do Phoenix Fire, or Phoenix Power, and then Phoenix Pyre. We'll have him do Body Ethereal. Oh, we might just have him spam Body Ethereal. We can't have him do Anti-Magic because we didn't send... Oh, actually, we can. He's got... this is a... So we'll send some gems with him. Sorry, I forgot to do this. So we'll have him do anti-magic. That's actually more important than the others. So we'll do it that way. We'll do anti-magic, Phoenix Power, Phoenix Pyre. We should probably do Firefend, actually. Firefend. 1, 2, 3. And the reason I say we should probably do Firefend is because, what's his butt? His Groudon has Heat from Hell. So we put Firefend up on everyone, and then there's less of a chance of our people fatiguing out from the heat. A good option. We can do Battle Fortune. We probably just do something like regular stuff from there. Body Ethereal. I don't know. After that, it really doesn't seem like we have some good options. Like a Fire Shield. +1 per extra mage level. He'll be a 4, so he should be a +3 at that point. So it should be a 13 armor-piercing fire damage. Not bad. Alright, sounds like a plan. Okay, so they are moving up into Banded Hills, right? Dolgad is moving into World Pillar. In Storn Woods, we are attacking here, right? And what this is happening is basically since Atlantis has lost this attack, this is something I'm going to talk about more in depth later, but Atlantis is feeling like maybe they might have to throw in the towel. The loss against Olivine City made them lose a lot of resources, and Pewter City is attacking the shit out of them, okay? So we are making motions towards Olivine's capital. I don't want Olivine to be able to really take time to organize forces. So we're going to hit here, and then we're going to hit here, probably. And the reason why we're choosing some of the motions that we're making is because I can actually reach Storn Woods with many different individuals or I can reach Olivine City from Storn Woods with many different individuals. So I can bring basically all of my Steelixes to bear. I can bring Tarbal to bear. I can bring the Kyogre and Latios to bear. And then we can just have like Zinville and the army after Storn Woods kind of like troll around, etc. So we're making some motions. Okay, that's what's happening in Olivine City. We'll do Saffron City real quick. There's not really much happening here. We are getting another Steelix. That was the majority of my money this turn. Money is an issue. I am trying to figure out some options there. We are actually, basically because of the Atlantis scenario, we are actually looking at potentially getting into the water pretty soon. So we might use our drowning, option. We'll see how it goes. So Saffron City, mostly just training or recruiting a Steelix. We're still blood hunting, quote unquote. Actually, we're not going to do that. I'm going to bring this guy down here because we're going to have some more units to fly around with. Training monsters, preaching. Should be it. Doing a bunch of different site searches again. Right, we're actually moving up from Impassable Mountains. We're moving a Earth Boy to do some Gnome lore. Okay. Over in Violet City, the Violet City front, we have taken Grey Mountains back, and we're actually using it as a jumping off point to attack into the Whispering Wastes. I'm assuming that this group is probably going to get killed very quickly. They'll probably hit Whispering Wastes, and then they might hit one or two other locations before they're dead. He might do any number of things to counter this, but he's done it to me. I'm going to start doing it to him, to the point where I'm moving down to Viridian City, because we don't really have anything else going on in Violet City. We've got a Future Fist exploration happening in Three Pine Grove, and I'm teleporting Kia over to Cyanwood. Because of the previous conversation that we've had, right? The concept of her, some of these schoolgirls, turning into teleport, like Telastic Gates. Is that the right thing? Telastic Gate? No, Gateway. Telastic Animation is I always do that. I was like, oh, it's Telastic Gate. No, it's Gateway. So we can very easily turn her into a army mover. So we're sending her down to Cyanwood to get some experience. Okay. In Viridian City itself, you might see we actually have a little line. We're sending Lobomater with a round of 10 of our fire black belts into Viridian City or Violet City's territory, but really we're aiming to get over into Pewter City's territory. Right, the whole point that we're trying to do is we want to get to the point to where we're raiding around in Pewter City. And this group, again, there's many very easy ways he can deal with them, but this group is probably a little bit better equipped than our flying Alakazam groups. This is, looks like a small group, but this is actually 10 of these fire black belts is 10 Hitmon tops and 50 Tai rogues, which is actually a decent little chunk of a raiding party. The Tai rogues can, I mean, if we take a look at them, they're not great, right? They die very easily, but they do have a hefty little punch, right? And the Hitmon tops, if we take a look at them, they're actually pretty decent. I say pretty decent. They're fine, right? They have a triple kick, hits 3 times, doesn't do very much damage, but it's good attack skill. And they have a pretty hard-hitting dynamic punch, with decent-ish defense skill, right? But I think these are going to be decent little raiding parties. Sorry about I just hit my mic. Apologies. Other than that, we're not really doing much in Viridian City, except we are building a rock university. And that is going to be because we want to turn Viridian City into another location where we are super training people, right? We want to turn this huge pile into a place where we can consistently level up everybody. Mainly, we want to focus on these fire black belts, fire white belts, blue belts, and black belts until we can get several raiding parties going. I think we can get to the point to where we can churn these out pretty quickly. But that is a monetary issue, which all these other Pokemon are a handicap on, so we're going to have to figure that out. Going over to the Cyanwood City front, we've got a whole lot of movement around and about. Really, what we're doing is we're blood hunting in Dathan. We're bringing Yazar and Binna and Draggle back into Binna and Draggle back, and Yazar is finally making it to Cyanwood. We're bringing them back because Atlantis has basically notified us and said, look, I might not be in the game for much longer, so we've got to keep our underwater units close by to take advantage of that should the case arise, and it's probably going to arise. We're moving someone into Debrithia because I would like to get this fortified, so we're going to try to do that next turn if we have the money. Fingers crossed. And then in Cyanwood City itself, we don't have a whole lot of things going on. We're doing basic forging, girdles, crowns of lead, armor of knights. And the armor of knights is specifically for someone because we are also casting a Lichcraft. And we're casting a Lichcraft for a number of reasons, but we're going to start summoning liches because we've basically been pushed out of the legendary Pokemon game, right? The fact that we can't keep our hands on legendaries is a huge pain in the ass, so I need to start investing money in things that gems into things that we can keep. Liches are one of them, and boy, can we keep liches for a long time, unless they get Soul Slayed. So, and liches are going to be very good for underwater excursions, so that's just another reason for us to get a lich. The Armor of Knight's probably going to go on him. We might kit him out in a basic fashion. We might not. There's nothing, you don't really have to kit liches out. You can. But anyways, that is pretty much the turn. Oh, so discussing like the world events. Atlantis is probably going down pretty quickly. I've been talking to Atlantis. They're gonna try a trap against Pewter City. We're gonna see how that works out. I think they're basically out of the Olivine City fight. I don't know. But we're gonna prep to counter Pewter in the water. I don't know that that's gonna go well for us. If they've done well enough against Atlantis to beat Atlantis in the water, we're probably fucked. We were probably already fucked anyways, but who knows. And then we've also reached out to, because of the changes, because Atlantis is probably going down, and a lot of my focus is probably going to be on here and here for the next several turns, I've basically reached out to Violet City and said, hey, take your cap and cap circle back. We were trying to hash out a deal for maybe like this, or maybe some stuff up here, right? And I've told them, I've asked Honored, who's the player for the mod creator and player for Violet City. I've asked, hey, let me take a rain check, because I don't know. I would like some sort of compensation, right, for the cap circle, for the cap and the cap circle. I'd like to get some provinces, some sort of connection, but I don't know where that is right now. So I've basically asked, hey, give me a couple turns. I'm moving these scouts around so I can have a better understanding of what that border actually is. Right, all of these scouts are moving around to see a better example of what our border, his border is, what our border could be, what the border with Pewter City is, right? To see if we can't figure out a decent location, or a series of decent locations. Okay, so that's kind of the plan there. Fingers crossed. And that's it. That's pretty much the turn. Research-wise, we're gonna be in Construction 8 next turn. That'll be good. And then we're onwards to Army of Lead and Gold. That's about it. Alright. I'm going to close it out here. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.